Life aboard a submarine at the bottom of the ocean is a completely unique experience compared to anything else on Earth. It's a cramped world beneath the sea, where sailors work and live for months at a time. For the 155 crew members, living and working underwater in an extremely limited space is a major challenge. Their ability to skillfully avoid bumping into each other, bend down, dodge, or squeeze through narrow passageways is truly impressive. Service on a submarine is entirely voluntary, which gives sailors a special sense of pride. They believe that only a select group of people would choose life at the bottom of the sea, where they work in an environment that is incompatible with human existence. The nuclear reactor and propulsion system take up about a third of the submarine's volume, along with ballast tanks, countless cables, pipes, valves, missiles, torpedoes, and other equipment, leaving very limited space for sailors to live and work. Sailors work in 24-hour shifts, divided into 3 8-hour shifts. They work for 8 hours and have 16 hours off to rest. During their off hours, they carry out maintenance tasks, training, or other duties, leaving them with very little or no free time. Their private space is nearly non-existent, mostly confined to their bunk, and a small curtain on the Ohio-class submarine, the largest submarine in the United States. On both sides of the third deck, there are a total of 16 sleeping quarters with 9 separate bunks, often jokingly referred to as coffins, with a little storage space underneath. If you think this living area is small, remember that this is the largest submarine in the US, and not all submarines have such spacious quarters. Often, the number of sailors exceeds the number of beds, meaning they have to share beds. Those who aren't on their assigned sleep schedule give up their space for others, and this is called a warm bed, as it still carries the warmth of the previous user. Additionally, torpedo rooms often double as sleeping quarters and gyms. Let's take a closer look at the sleeping quarters. This is the laundry bag sailors use to store their dirty clothes, putting their clothes in it every time they change. Each bed is equipped with a storage box at the foot of the bed, and each separate bed also has a drawer for personal belongings. There's also a shared storage closet, usually in each sleeping room, where they can hang coats and other items. Sailors can organize their clothes here, store excess fireproof suits, work uniforms, and leave them there for the duration of the submarine mission. On the submarine, there are no more than 3 toilets for regular sailors, and only 2 showers, which are almost always open throughout the day. There's also a shower for senior officers, 1 for officers, and 1 for the captain and executive officer. Each sailor only has 3 to 5 minutes for a shower, but if water supply is abundant, the executive officer may allow the use of a Hollywood-style shower with continuous water flow. Sailors can choose how often to shower according to their needs, and in fact, the captain often requires them to shower due to the smell of sweat. Officers share a small room with 2 others, which contains 2 folding tables and a fold-up sink. But due to the classified nature of their work, these facilities cannot be disclosed. The submarine has a laundry room equipped with 2 washing machines and 2 dryers for sailors to do their laundry. They arrange laundry schedules by day and sign-up time, and each person does their laundry after their shift. Due to the lack of natural light, keeping track of time becomes difficult, and sailors often rely on meals to guess the time. If pancakes are served, it's morning, and if it's leftovers, it's midnight. Food on the submarine somewhat compensates for the harsh conditions sailors face. In fact, some of the best food in the military can be found on a submarine. A good meal is an important source of motivation to maintain high morale, as sailors work long hours with little or no contact with family. Low morale can lead to distraction, mistakes, which are unacceptable on a submarine. Therefore, submarine sailors not only enjoy the best food, but also have the best chefs, who not only know how to peel potatoes, but are also trained at culinary schools. There are 4 meals a day on the submarine, and considering the rotating shifts, sailors can enjoy ice cream 24 hours a day to boost morale. The officers and enlisted personnel have the same menu, and this area is called the patrol mess, where sailors eat buffet style, having 3 to 4 meals a day on schedule with fairly good food quality. U.S. ballistic missile submarines are equipped with enough provisions to operate continuously underwater for 90 to 120 days, so they must store enough food for that period. For example, a submarine usually carries about 20,000 pounds of food, including 1,500 pounds of rolled beef, 1,500 pounds of ground beef, 1,200 pounds of chicken, 400 pounds of bacon, 9,800 pounds of flour, 2,500 pounds of sugar, and over 1,000 pounds of coffee. The most important thing is that the coffee machine is always operational. Due to limited space, the chef and crew have to be creative in storing and evenly distributing weight. Inside the submarine, beneath each bed, canned goods are stacked, even in the bathroom. Eggs and other fresh food are stored in the escape hatch, as the submarine operates in deep waters where the water temperature is low, and fresh food spoils first, followed by canned or frozen food. At this point, chefs must be inventive in their cooking. There are 6 to 8 chefs on the submarine, and they must always be ready to serve a meal. The biggest challenge when cooking on a submarine is not the limited space, but predicting the movement of the submarine. If the submarine suddenly makes an unexpected move, carefully prepared ingredients can be scattered. The mess hall is also where sailors watch movies, play video games, play cards, or engage in board games during their free time. Most submarines have a small gym where sailors can exercise. The gym equipment on the submarine typically includes exercise bikes, rowing machines, weights, boxing gloves, yoga mats, and wristbands. Another tough aspect of submarine life is that, besides the extremely cramped space and lack of natural light, communication with the outside world is also very difficult and tightly controlled. Although some submarines are equipped with high-speed satellite internet, there is no direct communication platform within the submarine community. Apart from letters, sailors can only rely on emails for communication. The important thing is that each email is thoroughly read to check for violations of policies or operational safety issues. Therefore, whether an email is sent depends entirely on the censoring officer. Sailors can only send mail home when the submarine surfaces. However, even then, receiving or sending mail is not always guaranteed. When the submarine is on the surface, sailors' internet access may be severely restricted. Typically, sailors may not receive mail from home for a month or even 2. Although in some missions they may send and receive mail weekly, each time they send or receive mail, it sends out a signal that could expose the submarine to anti-submarine forces. Therefore, sailors are prohibited from using personal devices with Wi-Fi or Bluetooth on the submarine. If allowed to bring a personal computer or phone on board, they can only use it when docked. The entire purpose of a submarine is to complete its mission without being detected. Any contact with the outside world puts them at a high risk of exposure. However, there's one thing submarine sailors can do that others in the Navy can't: grow facial hair. Submarine sailors are less restricted about appearance than other branches of the Navy. They don't have to shave every day and can even grow their beards to a certain extent. Their hairstyle and hair length are also not as strictly controlled. For any sailor who falls ill or is injured, there is no doctor on board the submarine. The IDC, Independent Duty Corpsman, is the only healthcare provider on the submarine, responsible for ensuring the safety and health of the crew. They are trained in emergency medical procedures far beyond the level of regular medical staff, and can perform procedures like appendectomies. These IDCs are worth their weight in gold. The experience and level of training they go through to qualify as an IDC on a submarine is truly remarkable. They are responsible for providing medical and dental care throughout the voyage and also serve as radiation health officers, recording radiation exposure levels. In addition to providing medical care, the IDC also has other duties during the deployment, including preparing industrial hygiene investigations, monitoring the internal environment of the submarine, managing medical supplies, and testing the quality of food and water on board. This is where the officers dine, known as the wardroom. They sit at fixed positions during meals. Another important function of the wardroom is that when the submarine is submerged, it can become an operating table, where the IDC performs emergency surgeries if necessary. These surgeries are carried out in the wardroom area. Next, we move to the control room, considered the brain of the submarine. All the submarine's remarkable operations stem from here. This is where sailors control and operate the submarine, adjusting buoyancy and direction, using sonar to track contacts, and ensuring navigational safety. They must ensure that the submarine does not collide with any potential targets while moving underwater. The control room is also where the submarine's fire control system is located, managing all operational activities. It truly serves as the command center for the entire operation, with every decision on the submarine being made here. Next, we move to the torpedo room, which houses the weapon launch control panel. Sailors use this control panel to assist in launching weapons from the submarine and controlling aerial firepower. Additionally, there is a missile control center responsible for monitoring the safety and stability of the weapon system while maintaining readiness to target. On the launch control panel, sailors can control the opening and closing of the compartment door and monitor the temperature and pressure in the launch tube. On the fire control side, sailors maintain the missile guidance system. You can think of the launch control panel as the muscle of the weapon system, while fire control is the brain of the entire operation. The nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarines are specifically designed to operate covertly and deploy nuclear warheads with precision. They are part of the nuclear deterrent force, forming one of the three pillars of the nuclear triad. It could be said that sailors who volunteer for this job have a distinct identity compared to others in the military. Moreover, there is a saying that they are the only fighting force in which most members gain weight during deployment, an average of about 10 pounds, which partly proves that the food on the submarine is indeed very good. Life aboard a submarine not only requires patience and high discipline, but also demands the ability to adapt to the harsh environment. However, it is these very challenges that foster a strong sense of camaraderie and close bonds among the sailors. They are not just teammates, but a family, overcoming every hardship together to complete their mission. That's why those who serve on submarines are always regarded as special individuals, with courage and quiet sacrifice for the safety and stability of the nation.